Ah, the movies. There's nothing quite like them. You sat down in the cinema, hopefully engrossed, and then a weird reveal comes around and gives you the Joe Pesci and Goodfellas special, wiping out all your enthusiasm or causing enough frustration for you to contemplate packing things up and making a hasty exit. From yawn-inducing plot twists nobody asked for, to blatant character assassinations, stupid subplots, and some of the worst blockbuster CGI you'll ever see, these plot points and character reveals all fell totally flat. I'm Ewan, you're watching Whatculture, and here are 10 movie reveals so bad you almost walked out.
Want to stay safe online and save big? Get up to 76% off a 2-year NordVPN plan, plus 4 months free and up to a $50 Amazon gift card. Just scan the QR code or click the link in the description and it's all yours.
Number 10. Blofeld is Bond's stepbrother, Spectre. It was a poorly kept secret that Christoph Waltz's Spectre villain, Franz Oberhauser, was actually a new take on legendary Bond antagonist Ernst Stavro Blofeld, and despite much initial excitement about this, Blofeld's reintroduction to the franchise was a damp squib. Waltz certainly did a fine job bringing a quietly menacing presence to the character, but the late-stage reveal that Blofeld is Bond's long-lost stepbrother and has been the puppet master behind the events of the previous films was tough to take seriously. The familial relation was literally a plot point in the third Austin Powers movie as well, by the way, a revelation so ridiculous it only makes sense in a parody of a James Bond film. And yet, Spectre ill-advisedly forged an unconvincing family link between hero and villain, while straining to connect the dots between all the prior Craig-starring 007 movies. 8. The Scorpion King, The Mummy Returns. Oh, that's him? Look at those eyes. That grin. Is that hair? Well, I guess if I squint, it looks sort of, bad. We have gone from cool, gooey mummy to a universal Bamzuki. That reference will be lost on all of our non-UK viewers, but hey, for those who know, you know. In an episode of Corridor Crew's VFX Artists React, VFX supervisor John Burton Jr. revealed that the sequence was effectively ruined by Dwayne Johnson's busy WWE schedule, which prevented him from being photo scanned for the scene, as is standard for complex scenes such as this. There has also been talk of studio crunch ahead of the film's release date, so that would also explain things. Either way, while this moment did not land and still looks horrendous, I kind of love CGI The Rock. Way cooler than Black Adam, I think we can all agree. Number 7. Dom betrayed his family to protect his other family. The Fate of the Furious. The 8th Fast and Furious movie marks the point at which the franchise's wheels really began to come off. Following Furious 7's affecting farewell to Paul Walker's Brian O'Connor, the heart and soul of the series, I think we can all agree, it was painfully clear that the franchise had reached its natural endpoint. But Vin Diesel and the gang pressed on, and the Fate of the Furious' big marketing hook was that Dominic Toretto had turned against his family. It's eventually revealed that Dom has been helping Cypher because she kidnapped his former lover, Elena, and to hammer the point home further, Dom then learns that he has a son, fathered with Elena during the period where he believed Letty was dead. It's at this point that the Fast and the Furious descended into groan-worthy soap opera territory. Number 6. Maisie is a clone, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom is a film of two halves. One, a disaster flick set on Isla Nublar in the midst of a volcanic eruption, and the other, a quasi-horror movie set on a fancy estate on the American mainland. Neither half is particularly satisfying, but you get my meaning. It's also a film that introduces a head-scratching narrative wrinkle after the action shifts away from Nublar to the estate of Sir Benjamin Lockwood, played by the always brilliant James Cromwell. Shortly after we meet Lockwood's granddaughter Maisie, it's heavily implied that she is in fact a clone of Lockwood's dead daughter, as is then later confirmed. You know what is really weird in a Jurassic Park movie? Human cloning. Even the whole human dinosaur hybrids with guns shtick we almost got in Jurassic World 1 would have probably felt slightly less out of place than this. And to top it all off, at the end of the film, it becomes clear precisely why this off-kilter subplot was introduced, to give Maisie some form of kinship with the dinosaurs and justify her letting them loose into the world. All the same, it doesn't really convince, but rather than quietly forget about the poorly received subplot, follow-up Jurassic World Dominion further muddied the waters by retconning Maisie's origin story and revealing that Lockwood's daughter birthed Maisie herself. Just the most pointless sequels in the world. Number 5. Deadpool. X-Men Origins Wolverine. X-Men Origins Wolverine serves as a potent reminder of what can happen when Hollywood doesn't even show the faintest shred of respect for a beloved comic book character. We get this guy. Oh, look at him. Though the Wolverine spin-off promisingly cast Ryan Reynolds in the role of chatterbox anti-hero Deadpool, he ends up dipping out of the story relatively early on, only to then be reintroduced in the third act as the mutant Weapon 11. It's probably trite to litigate on this again, but man, he just looks so bad. Origins Wolverine is not a good movie. Up there with the worst the X-Men franchise gave us, and Knife Arm Mortal Kombat Pool is a timelessly cringe moment in the comic book genre. Number 4. Michael's evil is literally contagious. Halloween Ends. Before I get into this, I do think it's worth saying that I think I dislike Halloween Ends for reasons that are different for why everyone else dislikes Halloween Ends. A lot of the backlash to David Gordon Green's trilogy capper came from the focus being on Rowan Campbell's Corey Cunningham, and not on the series' mainstay Michael Myers. While I totally get that, Michael is a draw after all, the issues with Ends for me comes from it not committing enough to its central conceit. I think you'd be left with a much stronger film if you made that Michael was out of the picture entirely, diving into the idea that evil does not die and merely changes shape, and that you can't get revenge on evil, it's something you have to live with. Those ideas are crystallized in the movie, but they're punctuated by bizarre nostalgic callbacks, moments of fan service, and the subject of this particular entry, nigh explicit supernatural features. The idea of evil corrupting and trauma cycles repeating is all well and good, but ends as too far into goofy territory by having Corey literally be infected by Michael's evil the moment they make contact. The editing here undermines what could have been a subtle and brilliant thematic twist on Myers' mythology. Corey takes on Myers' mannerisms, with a stolen mask a sort of totem that grants him strength. It's a shade too explicit compared to the believable terror of John Carpenter's original, and that, for me, sums up the lost potential of the new trilogy. Number 3. High T is the Mole. Men in Black International. From the moment the first trailer dropped for Men in Black International and mentioned that the plot centered around a mole with an MIB, fans immediately pointed their fingers at High T, Liam Neeson, the legendary head of MIB's London branch. They also asked themselves why the hell Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones weren't there, but hey, this movie somehow still got made. It seemed so obvious that some even pegged it as a cheeky misdirect, but lo and behold, deep into the third act, we indeed find out that High T is the mole, his body having effectively been hijacked by the parasitic aliens known as the Hive, in turn allowing them to infiltrate MIB. The wise mentor being the secret compromised bad guy is a trope as old as time, and that the fourth Men in Black movie tried to pull it off without any subversion whatsoever is all you need to know about why it pales in comparison to its predecessors. Number 2. John McClane's son is a CIA assassin. A Good Day to Die Hard. A Good Day to Die Hard is one of the worst ever action sequels, and that feels bad to say because I love me some Die Hard. I really enjoy the first 4. 1 and 3, directed by John McTiernan, are 2 of the greatest action films ever made, and John McClane is an immortal character played by one of our most talented genre performers in Bruce Willis. It's not fun to be negative on Die Hard. But sadly, A Good Day to Die Hard is truly diabolical. A bizarre creation that went wrong from the first step with a script that completely misapprehended the appeal of the series. There is so much wrong here, but the worst part is the reveal that John McClane's son, Jack, is now a CIA assassin. We've gone from plucky New York everyman foils a hostage crisis to super cop joins secret agent son for post-Soviet hijinks. It is so far removed from the franchise DNA, and a tragic way to lay a beloved action series to rest. And number 1. Rey is Palpatine's granddaughter. Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker didn't exactly get off to the most stellar start by ass-pulling the resurrection of Emperor Palpatine totally out of nowhere. But it became clear all hope was lost with that mid-movie reveal. Yeah, you know the one. That's some classic Abramsing right there. Despite the previous Star Wars film, The Last Jedi, having Kylo Ren inform Rey that her parents were nobodies, thereby implying that she herself was a nobody, halfway through The Rise of Skywalker, he adds an infuriating postscript to his prior remark. Kylo reveals that Rey's parents deliberately chose to become nobodies because, in fact, Rey's father was the cloned son of Palpatine. Oh god, it gets worse every time I have to say this aloud. This makes Rey Palpatine's granddaughter. They shed their identities and then shipped Rey off in an attempt to protect her. Look, whether you're a fan of Episode 8 or not, this was basically really bad Reddit levels of writing made canon. A grotesque attempt to win back fans alienated by the previous movie, with a contrived familial link between hero and villain, further compounded by a truly baffling Skywalker addendum in the film's closing scene. Truly cowardly filmmaking.